You are now tuned in to another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K Sap. Guys, it looks like there's a major shakeup coming down the line in this Cleveland Brown organization. It's a lot of media personnel out there in Cleveland that have given up on Kevin Stefanski, same way they have given up on Dillon Gabriel. But we're going to talk about it right after this. Well, guys, we got to talk about it, man, because the rumor mill is swirling today. Now, we all know the situation that's going on in Cleveland with this Cleveland Browns organization and head coach Kevin Stefanski, and also surrounding around this quarterback situation. Now, this goes to show you how the Shedeur effect is real, because we're sitting here. Every day is something new pertaining around Kevin Stefanski, Dillon Gabriel, this organization, and Shedeur Sanders. Now, all the rumors is out there about Kevin Stefanski has a disdain like for Shedeur Sanders. And a lot of people want to see Shedeur Sanders get a chance to prove what he's capable of doing in the NFL. But a lot of people are out there saying Kevin Stefanski is not going to give him that shot. And Kevin Stefanski sees the writing on the wall. So why make a quarterback change? Just stick with Dillon Gabriel throughout the season. And then if you get fired, so be it. And that's some of the reason that people are saying that Shedeur Sanders won't see the field this year for the Cleveland Browns, because Kevin Stefanski knows with the removal of Paul DiBodesto and the things that are in the ownership with Jimmy Haslam about a promotion with Andrew Berry, getting a promotion, that looks bad for Kevin Stefanski. And a lot of people saying after this year, Kevin Stefanski is going to be out as head coach of the Cleveland Browns. And a lot of people are saying they don't even want to see Shedeur in under this regime. They don't even want to see Shedeur playing under Kevin Stefanski. And it makes sense because the rumors are out there. We heard the Cleveland media talking about replacements for Kevin Stefanski. Now you hear on mainstream media, they talked about Kevin Stefanski needs to be fired. And this is all predicated around one person, and that's Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders has this cause and effect that's going on right now in this Cleveland Browns organization, because Kevin Stefanski is reluctant to play Shedeur Sanders because Dillon Gabriel is his guy. After every game where Dillon Gabriel does not make no progress, Kevin Stefanski will come out and say, we're sticking with Dillon Gabriel. But notice what I said there. We're sticking with Dillon Gabriel. He mentions Dillon Gabriel's name, but when it comes to Shedeur Sanders, he won't even utter his name. He can't even put no respect on Shedeur Sanders' name and address Shedeur Sanders when the media asks him questions pertaining around Shedeur Sanders. So now the Cleveland media is getting some traction on fire Kevin Stefanski. He needs to be replaced. Now today they talking about possible head coaches that might come in to take over for Kevin Stefanski in Cleveland, because they said it looks more attractive now that Paul DiBodesto is gone. So Rizzo and Tony Grossi was talking about some things about the head coach of Kevin Stefanski and how attractive this coaching job would be. And we're going to take a listen to what they had to say. But before we do that, we partnered up with Underdog Fantasy, and this is a word from our sponsor.
Underdog Fantasy is the best way to play fantasy sports. Let me tell you about the easiest way to get in on some WNBA and NBA action. Find your player, pick higher or lower, win you some extra cash. Pick between 2 to 5 players to fill out your pick'em entry, get every pick right, and win some serious cash. Use my promo code SBD23 and receive up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Now that it's football time, follow Simply Ball Dropping as I share my picks. Like I said, pick your player, choose your amount, win money. Make picks, win cash. Thank you, Underdog Fantasy, for the partnership with us. And thank you for using promo code SBD23 on Underdog Fantasy.
Now, guys, with that being said, let's listen to what Rizzo and Grossi had to say today on 92.3 The Fan. Let's take a listen.
How attractive is this job?
Well, I think it's more attractive with DePodesta gone, and I think if they got to the point of doing a search, the owner has to state whether we're willing to change the way we do things, and we want you to have more power or whatever.
That would kind of depend on if it was a veteran guy like Mike McCarthy versus coordinator guy.
Yeah,
right.
There's more than one way to do it. Okay, it's not like let's do what the Steelers do. Let's name our coach the czar. Not if you don't have the right coach, you won't do that. But if they go young and untested, he needs a support around him.
What direction do you think they would? Experienced, or do you think they would really want to go with unproven coordinator?
I think it could go either way if they do that. They have to decide. The individual first would dictate. Like if they fall in love with, let's just say Matt Nagy, who's he probably deserves a second chance as a head coach. But you have to support him with a strong GM, and let him just coach the team. Other guys like Nick Saban, you build your organization the way you want it.
Now, you heard what they had to say, and this is all predicated around this topic right here. Take a listen to this.
Looking forward to see Shedeur. Chris, what do you say when people ask you that question?
I don't have an answer, because the obvious answer should be we've seen enough of Dylan Gabriel, especially because everyone is telling me, Tony Grossi included, that he's a backup quarterback. So why are we wasting time trying to figure out if our backup quarterback is any good?
That's what we do.
Now, you heard what them guys had to say, and it makes sense, man. And basically, the Cleveland media is telling you that Kevin Stefanski is going after this year. And it's his stubbornness not to play Shedeur Sanders. Because what the guy said is, how are we trying to evaluate a backup quarterback in Dylan Gabriel? Because what happened was these guys had flipped side. They was on Dylan Gabriel's bandwagon. That's Tony Grossi, not Rizzo. But Tony Grossi was on his bandwagon, stating that Dylan Gabriel is ready, more ready than Shedeur Sanders. And this is what got Kevin Stefanski in the shithole he's in now, because of the fact that he is reluctant to play Shedeur Sanders, keeping Dylan Gabriel in the game just so he don't have to put Shedeur Sanders in the game. And the Cleveland media is basically talking about all these head coaches that are possible candidates for the Cleveland Browns. So what is the Cleveland media saying to you guys? They're basically saying that Kevin Stefanski, his time is up. Is he going to be out of head coaching responsibilities next year with the Cleveland Browns? And see, this all comes on the notion of Paul DePodesta. Once he left and gave up some of the controls, now it's all on Jimmy Haslam and Andrew Berry to do what they supposed to do and get Kevin Stefanski out. So when Paul DePodesta left, y'all know it was going to be a major shakeup. You knew it was going to be a major shakeup. And the odd man out is going to be Kevin Stefanski. And this is all, like I said, all predicated around his stubbornness not to let Shedeur Sanders play. But that goes to show you that he is not going to play Shedeur Sanders because he don't care if his job's on the line or not. He's just going to go down with the ship like I've been telling you. He's going to go down on the sword. I see everybody in the comment section, #salute. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, turn your post notifications on so you know every time Simply Ball drops another hot banger. Oh yeah, just in case I forgot. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. Catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
That's all, folks.